Okay, so now let's get into our first topic. I thought I hit my banner. Why is it? I was like, why is it not coming up? Okay, now it's coming up. I was like, don't play in my face, 2025. We just started our first show. I don't need you starting your mess. So anyway, let's get into our first topic and let's talk about Miss Jennifer Love Hewitt. So there was a story that came out that's been actually been floating around where they were trying to make it seem like that she was causing drama and being difficult or whatever the case is. And after seeing this, I am team Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I'm gonna tell you why once we go through the story. So, because I hate when you get these media conglomerates like the Daily Mails, who I do feel like, based off of some of the stuff that they say, they lean real conservative, and how they try to paint these narratives of misogyny and all this other mess. So anyway, so they said, according to reports, Jennifer Love Hewitt has allegedly caused chaos on the set of the reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer, or is it a requel? As filming has halted ahead of her return. Now, the American actress, who's 45, because, Daily Mail is a British paper, and also they have an Australian conglomerate, starred as Julie James in the 1997 horror classic and finally confirmed her return for the hotly anticipated reboot just 2 weeks ago after months of speculation and negotiations. Now, filming had already kicked off in Sydney last month with leading star Freddie Prinze Jr. jetting down under with his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, to film scenes with the new cast before Christmas. However, Jennifer was nowhere to be seen during filming, with speculation rife about whether her cameo will work, given she had been expected to film with Freddie, who played her on-screen love interest Ray Bronson. Now, it has been claimed that though Jennifer is returning for the reboot, her lengthy negotiations before signing up for the role caused chaos on the Australian set. Now, a source on set exclusively told Daily Mail Australia that Jennifer ruffled feathers while negotiating her return due to conflicting ideas about how her character Julie would return. They said Jennifer did not want to see Julie James come back for a blink and you miss it cameo. This is what they're claiming. They said it was clear that she wanted the role to be amped up, and while executives were holding out for her to sign, everyone else in Australia had gotten on with production. With the new I Know What You Did Last Summer director less than impressed that filming had been fractured. Jennifer reportedly did not agree with some of the writing, and filming was halted until she officially signed up for the project earlier this month. And the source went on to add, they said production will continue once Jennifer Love Hewitt arrives. And while there are some noses out of joint, I would say the young cast will be ecstatic to see the queen of I Know What You Did Last Summer walking and talking as Julie James once more. Now, here's the fact of the matter is, on one hand, I can understand the stuff. There's parts of this I feel like is being sensationalized and I'm not necessarily buying. Now, I will buy this part. I do agree, because I've said this even before she said it, that if you're going to bring back a legacy character, I'm going to bring her in this, as well as Sidney Prescott herself, Nev Campbell. If you're going to use a pre-existing IP to launch a whole new cast, but then you trying to be slick, and this is what a lot of you studios like to do. Y'all want to use the legacy characters to bridge this gap. So y'all want to cater to a younger audience, but then you want to cater to my generation of people who grew up on I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream, to get our butts in the seats, because we're going to come out and support these films, because these are films that are kind of linked to our youth. So we grew up for the past 2 decades plus with the I Know What You Did Last Summer and the Screams. Scream more so than I Know What You Did Last Summer, because I Know What You Did Last Summer, we only had 2 movies with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. They did other sequels, they did a TV spinoff, they were all terrible. So we only count the first two. But then again, if you really look at it, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the first film, while it was iconic because of the cast I feel like served the movie much more than the movie did. I thought the original I Know What You Did Last Summer was okay. The second one, because it was successful, the first one, based off of, the success of Scream and all that other stuff, I still Know What You Did Last Summer was rushed. The script was rushed. There was a lot of holes, more holes in that damn plot than a block of cottage damn cheese. So I have issues with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer in certain situations, but Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., who I felt like they both were kind of wasted. Jennifer Love Hewitt kind of irritated me in that movie, but Brandy saves that damn film. She was the only reason that I can tolerate I Still Know What You Did Last Summer because of Brandy's role in that, and Mekhi Phifer being a horny old teenager. So, but Brandy more so than anybody else. But then after that, they tried to do I'd Always Know, and that was terrible. And they did the TV show on Amazon that lasted one season. But Scream has way more leverage because they've given us more good movies than bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the Scream movies have issues in some of the plot points, particularly Scream 5 and 6. But for the most, and it's funny how it was like when Radio Silence took over, that's when the series for me was kind of like, it had its great moments and they were trying to go in different directions, but the way they handled certain situations was pissing me off. So with Julie coming back, I'm here for it, but if you're going to bring her back, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to hold you. But I also honestly feel like Jennifer Love Hewitt, while I like her and I'm a fan of hers, I don't feel like she was the best part of I Know What You Did Last Summer. But because she is a scream queen in the same vein, but not better than, because I've always felt that Neve Campbell was the one that really held it down in regards of holding her own as a scream queen in the Scream franchise. Jennifer Love Hewitt always felt like that she wasn't given a lot to do with her character except running around looking frantic and screaming all the damn time. I felt like Brandy's character was given more. The secondary characters were given more to do. Helen Shivers had a much better chase scene, a story arc than Jennifer Love Hewitt's Julie James. If you watch the sequel that I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I always felt like Carla Wilson was a step above Julie James. And how is it that you create a franchise where it's supposed to be the final girl is supposed to be the lead and it's supposed to be the one that keeps us all going or whatever and carrying the film, but it felt like Jennifer Love Hewitt really wasn't stepping up to the plate in those films. Now, like I said, I like watching her. I've been a fan of hers for an eons, but I just don't feel like she held that franchise together like Neve Campbell did with Scream. But if you're going to bring her back, I don't want y'all having her as a bona fide cameo. And I feel like y'all was trying to do that slick mess like the same way y'all did with Neve Campbell, where Radio Silence comes in after Wes Craven passes away. And then you got Scott, what is it? Oh my God, I totally forgot. I almost said Skydance. Y'all know the company that all y'all are mad at, calling them Zionists and all the other mess. They come in and start trying to be like, oh, well, we're under new management, so we're just going to try to we're going to kill off one legacy character. We're going to pretty much have all the other legacy characters as background fodder while we try to push up these new generation of kids, but you just basically going to use the main guys who we grew up with, Dewey, Gail, and Sydney as background fodder, and that's disrespectful to us. So you basically want our money, but you're going to reduce them to background fodder or window dressing while you try to bring up these new generation of people. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you got something that you can give these characters something to do, I'm here for it. But don't use us legacy people to just come in because you want our dollars, but you're going to have us window dressing. Because it's like, yeah, if you want me to be in this thing, you got to give me something to do. So I'm with Jennifer Love Hewitt on that. And to me, I don't feel like depending on how much she was in the film, if you have these other people coming in, you could shoot all these scenes. People don't shoot films for the most part in sequence. So you could do all the stuff with everybody else and shoot all their stuff. But if you need to bring Jennifer Love Hewitt for whatever part she's got to come in, you could shoot those. But I am kind of wondering, are y'all going to make y'all deadline? Because aren't they supposed to be coming out with, isn't this film supposed to be coming out in July of this year? So what are we in? I'm like 6 months away. So it doesn't take long to shoot a horror movie. They started filming it in December. They can have it wrapped by February. Because January is like a long month. It's like what, 5 weeks? So they got plenty of time to shoot this. It do not take 6 months. You don't need, this is not like Dune 2 or what we're about to get into later on, the Blade Runner 2099 series, where they've been shooting that over, in Prague and Belfast, I believe, for 6 months. You don't need a 6-month shoot when it comes to horror films. There are people that shoot horror movies in like a month. Sometimes, well, the standard would be like 2.5, 3 months. But normally, some other movies, they'll shoot stuff in like 6 weeks. So it depends on the production. So I'm not upset with her about this. So I don't understand. I just feel like that the people behind the scenes are trying to make this a bigger situation than what it is. And I just don't think that that's fair. I feel like y'all just being a little sexist with the whole situation. So yeah, she said, if I'm gonna come back 27 years later, I don't want to just be in it for 5 seconds. Like, don't want it just to be like the thing that's like, oh well, there's the ghost of I know what you did last summer. Here she is. And so I want to be able to carve out time to really be in it for people and to have it matter. So we're working on it. So yeah, they've been working on the script, they've been working on the negotiations, and who knows? If there are, I don't know if there's going to be scenes with her and Freddie. Freddie said he already wrapped his stuff before Jennifer, and then what was it? Days later, Jennifer came out and said that she's coming back, she's officially back. And this was the post that she put up, the one I'm showing you now with the post-its, where it says, I know what you did last summer. That was her official announcement on her Instagram. So if it comes down to it, I'm sure that what they'll probably do is they're going to have to call Freddie to come back. They'll probably maybe have them shoot some scenes together to give us nostalgia fans that, look, it's Ray and Julie reuniting on screen, and yay! I mean, I'm here for the nostalgia of it all. And you know, when you get to a certain age, it's all about the nostalgia. We look back on the groups and the bands that we loved, and we support them years later. And then it comes with movies where they're rebooting and giving legacy sequels, where we come out and we support those. So, um, they'll figure it out, and we shall see how this all plays out when it does. So I will definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. But like I said, I'm team Jennifer Love Hewitt on this one. It just made it seem like y'all were trying to say, oh, she's being difficult because, oh, this is a woman demanding her, da 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 da. And then we're gonna get into some stories later on where women are not treated fairly and equally on set, and they're put into compromising situations. And if you speak up, it's the end of your career, whatever the case is. When we talk about Blake Lively and we talk about Kate Beckinsale. So I say all this to you to ask, what do you think of this story regarding Jennifer Love Hewitt and the negotiations of I Know What You Did Last Summer? They're trying to make it seem like she was being problematic. I don't see it that way, but let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.